Thursday, and you know what that means. Welcome to Max Wrestling 509, and the TS Takeover train is here to deliver every twist and swerve in pro wrestling as we are just 1 week away from Promo Series. It's the boys, it's TSK, it's Rob DC, and Mike is back. But speaking of Mike, we got a whole lot to talk about. Not this Mike, but it was Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. It took over the world. We're going to break it down and kind of talk a little crap on it, but we'll go into some more of it. Plus, after crowning Beer as the winner of the Golden Gauntlet last week, we hear from the television champion Cypher as he addresses his challenger 1 week out from Promo Series. And finally, the boys talk a whole lot of AEW as we go through Dynamite and, of course, this weekend's Full Gear prediction. So, make Max Wrestling your new home for all things wrestling. And as you do, go ahead and smash the like button right here. And, of course, hit that subscribe for those who want to do the old-fashioned podcast. Follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is you get your podcast. And for all things Max Wrestling, head on over to maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com. And right after this, go to TikTok. Got to do the TikTok. Cypher the Prophet, brand new after the post-show, after Max, hosted by our current television champion, Cypher. He may not be TV champ after next week. We'll figure it out. Hop on over there, send him some love, and let him know that you showed up. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to show up. You never know what kind of news is going to drop. So, again, all kinds of AEW. We're going to talk some Full Gear predictions. We're going to go into a little bit of last night on Dynamite, but we have to do the fun stuff. So, with that being said, some people think Gorilla Monsoon was a character from Planet of the Apes. So, because of that, this is Shit Mark Say.
They hate Japanese wrestlers. They know less than we forget. They don't know who's the bestler. They're having a wank to Jim Cornette. Not a single GCSE between them. This is Shit Mark Says.
Then you have Glenn Jacobs and Tyrus talking about if you want to leave America, we'll pack your bags.
Oh, yeah? Come pack my bag.
Oh, you mean Brodus Clay and TNA?
His name was Tyrus. Yes, that one and that one and friggin' dumbass Glenn Jacobs, yes.
Oh, Tyrus, you mean the guy who wouldn't do what WWE told him to do, so they fired him?
Yeah, you mean the guy who pretty much ruined the NWA with his World Heavyweight Championship run? That Tyrus, yes.
Because Billy Corbin thought, he'd get good exposure. No,
nobody cares.
You're damn right. Nobody cares. And speaking of that, nobody cares. Let's jump right into Shit Mark Say. So I was scoured the internet, scoured Twitter, found some winners, and those guys are winners in their own right. Trust me, they're gonna get some points. You want to pack my bag? Come pack it, big dog. Come pack it. So let's jump into some of these Twitter nerds. Antonio Z. I'm trying not to give you all the heat. The video circling, I want to say this was last week on SmackDown, where Jacob Fatu got flipped over the barricade and pretty much kicked one of the ladies I forget what she does. One of the ladies on the side.
Oh, the timekeepers, yeah.
That's right, timekeeper. And he's literally like saying, I'm sorry. He's utterly like consistently apologizing to like grotesque measures. But this nerd goes on to say, one of the reasons I will never take this show seriously is you can see how early that guy is running and wanting to be lifted. So the blatant, what's the old saying? I think, Mike, you used to hear it from me all the time. There's got to be a level of disbelief.
There's got to be a level of disbelief, and there has to be that overall shock and awe that goes into any form of presentation. The problem is when you see people like this, and also he was very kind with the whole I'm sorry after that, but you have to have that kind of disbelief, the representation of your presentation. I've said it on this show many a times as well. The problem is people like that, they can suspend their disbelief. They can't be in the moment. They don't have that raw and pure emotion that you get from any type of entertainment, any type of show, any type of sitcom, any type of performance. People just don't believe anymore because they just want to be like, oh, we know this is going to happen. We're going to be like that. Take it out of the moment for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Live in the moment. Take yourself out of where you are and be in the moment. Nobody wants to be in the moment anymore.
Tell them,
Mike, it's the same thing as the people. Those are the same kind of people that will go to a movie and just say, well, that's unrealistic because of this. That's unrealistic because of that. Like,
shut up.
Tell them.
Enjoy the movie.
Thank you.
Enjoy the
Those
match.
people,
Enjoy the
those
show.
people must be a joy to be around on the holiday
Oh,
season.
I had that same thing. Like one Halloween, I went to see. I think Ouija was the popular movie at the time, and they're like, he's gonna come back, and he's just gonna, save him in the end. His spirit is gonna come back. Like, shut up! I'm trying to watch the flipping movie for God's sake. I
Same thing
fucking
with
probably know
31
that.
lately.
Yeah, exactly. Like, shut up. We know that there's gonna be paranormal activity and there's gonna be shit moving. I get that. Let me watch the fucking movie,
You
fucker.
You bitch, as Okada would reference.
Bitch. I love it. All right. So, Ashwani. Let's go with Ashwani, the phenomenon. I'm giving his whole fucking name out there because women haters. I love the women haters. Why you fucking watch anything professional wrestling and get upset at women? It just shocks and awes me. So, just this past Monday, we had the return of Rhea Ripley completing the Survivor Series women's match. Some people are hyped for it, some aren't so much. I'm actually hyped for it. I think it's going to be a good setup. Total bad guys versus good guys in all reality, and I think it's going to be fun. But this guy simply put, never open the show with women again.
Fuck right off.
I love
Literally.
that. I love that reaction. I love all these reactions.
yeah. Let the LFC guy speak on that.
Seriously.
Oh, for the gods. All right.
Tell me you have never seen a woman in the nude without telling me you have never seen a woman in the nude.
He says, does
First of all,
magazines count?
All right, hold on. The LFC guy will comment on this. Thank you, Robert Davis. So I look at it from a stance like this. You have so many women's promotions, and I'll include LFC in this because it's a mixture of MMA, wrestling, and the overall real deal sex appeal. But you look at promotions like we had back in the day with the Shimmers, the Rises, and especially ones that are really on the come up right now. Women have really become so influential. Some of the, dare I say that, pop culture-esque, taking it to the masses, so to speak, main events, what have you. You have Rhea Ripley come out, and a lot of people were complaining that she came back too soon, which I'm sorry. Undertaker broke an orbital bone. We saw Cody Rhodes in the face match, JC Jane, Tatum Paxley, need I say more. The problem is people are just going to bitch because we are so into that overall bubble of just, oh God, it's women, or they're stuck in the Attitude Era and they just want to have that eye candy when we've evolved and grown since then. So we're in a day and age where these, and I'll say it again like I said last week, these TDMFs, these tiny dick motherfuckers, just can't get out of their mindset and they just say stupid shit, and this is why their penises will never get touched.
The last point I'll make on that one is with WWE, we have the best women's roster overall that we have ever had across all the brands. We have some amazing women who all consistently put on good matches and sometimes honestly have better matches than the guys do.
1000%. I mean, you look at what we had recently, like we had Tatum Paxley and Wendy Chu did their thing on NXT, and one's a veteran and Wendy Chu, Tatum Paxley's on the come up. We mentioned like that dynamic that Moses likes about the War Games. I mean, you have something there with Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae, kind of fighting over Nia's attention, so to speak. There's a dynamic there, and they've been killing it. Bayley and Candice had a tremendous match last week. Naomi and Nia Jax, oh my God, flipping great this week. Nia Jax is doing some of her best work.
Yeah.
So you have so many things. EO and what she's doing now, going with Liv Morgan. So everyone's putting in the work, and this is one of the best times for a woman to be in professional wrestling, to see so many people. Jada Parker will be here all day. People need to realize the overall accentuary and accentuation of what we're seeing from the female dichotomy in wrestling as a whole, but some people just won't, and then we see stupid shit like this.
It's like these dorks that want to go back to the Attitude Era. It just totally demeans everything that these women have put in work for. There's been so much key moments in women's wrestling. If you think back to Becky Lynch with the bloody nose, the first pay-per-view they had, such iconic moments, and you want to go back to the Attitude Era and put these women in bra and panties matches again for 2 minutes.
WrestleMania 35.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. I mean, not even that. Like, you look at the Ruthless Aggression era, and Tori Wilson said this in her interview with Chris Van Vliet. We were in a time period where it was all bikini contests, and everything that was based from the verbal commentary standpoint was, look how hot she is. We were focused on the hotness, which, mind you, there is, but we're not focusing on the entire foundation and package, and that's really what is lost in the art that people don't really realize. So some people evolve, some people regress, a lot of people regress, and it's a really sad state of affairs.
I could not have put it better myself. So we'll leave the women haters alone because that's honestly all I got left. I don't want to keep bashing on him because you did it perfectly. The reality of the matter is yes, I'm sorry that you can't be a little hornball anymore and enjoy your mud show kind of wrestling to court Jim Cornette, but they've evolved 100%. You know what I mean? Not only are they excellent athletes, over the top athletes, some of them better than men in a lot of aspects, but at the same time they have this over the top beauty. And they can talk, and there's charisma, and there's this, and there's that, and your mom's basement stinks. So, something that stinks, and we're going to get into it, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, and I know this is a wrestling show, and I know some of you guys are already flipping whatever, but it took over everybody's Friday night. It absolutely made a massive difference. I want to say SmackDown dropped about 32% of their viewership. AEW, I want to say Collision dropped about 22% of their viewership. So again, massive drop-offs from everything to see this thing. Some people actually thought that this thing was going to start at 5 o'clock. People really thought that the main event was going to be at 5 o'clock. They've never watched a boxing match in their entire life or a boxing show. So we get all the way to the main.
UFC.
Thank you, LFC. But we get all the way to the main event, and as much as I want to say everybody was expecting the same thing, or at least kind of hoping that Jake would be just exposed. We didn't have to see him get brutalized. We didn't need to see the Mike Tyson of old, circa 1996. You know what I mean? We didn't need to see that. We just need to see Jake get put in his place. And what we got was 45, I'll call it 2 minutes. 2 minutes of Mike Tyson somehow, some way, still moving like Mike Tyson of old, and then going out there and literally pulling every other punch possible. And not only that, I have to add in the little stigma of the streaming issues, the constant cutting out, loading, playing sound in the background while having a frozen frame, just the consistent overall network issues. It was said to have somewhere over like 100, over 100 million viewers at some point. I think that might be a bit extreme, but I think that's what I heard. Which actually, believe it or not, that doesn't sound too bad because Netflix is global.
Yeah, I mean, I know there are some people in the UK who stayed up to watch the fight, so that number doesn't seem too far fetched.
Anybody want to give any thoughts outside of what I pretty much summed up?
Well, yeah. I didn't need to see. I didn't need to see Mike Tyson's ass. That's the one thing I will say about that.
Really didn't need to see his ass.
Yeah, I didn't have that on my 2024 bingo card.
No, it's just it's a case and affair, like I mentioned. Of he started out hot in the first round, and then by round 3, it was downhill from there. And I mean, it was slow. It was what it was. It was Mike hanging in, so to speak, for 2 rounds for all the 8 rounds. And I mean, it was what it was. I mean, Jake Paul is doing his thing, but I'd like to see him fight people that are not 58 years of age. You know what I'm saying? Or his brother fighting Floyd Money Mayweather. It just, it was what it was. You knew what you were going into it, but still, I love Mike. I've always loved Mikey Tyson.
There was still this little glimmer of hope, though, that we would get the Mike Tyson of old. We would get the Mike Tyson who was in those training videos, just fucking shit up left and right, and Mike threw 97 punches and only landed 18 of them.
I wanted him to bite his ear. I was that nostalgic. I was yelling at him to bite his ear.
He had a couple of prime opportunities to do it. No pun intended there. But he did have a couple of opportunities to do that, and he didn't. Me and you, Mike, we talked about the post-match interview with that nerd Ariel Helwani. And, he asked Mike, hey, what are you doing with your glove in your mouth? Oh, that's just something I've done before. No. Why? Oh, I have a biting problem.
Ariel Helwani asking him the most obvious of questions.
Yeah, like, God damn it, you're such a tool. But at the same time, like, we know Mike has a biting problem.
We get it.
Evander Holyfield knows he has a biting problem.
And they're boys. They've worked together in business ventures. But that man bit his ear off.
Yeah, I mean, he gave him his ear back one Christmas. I don't know if you guys saw that commercial.
I love it. I love the commercial.
I love it.
Fantastic.
Okay, so all jokes aside, I bring this up to gloss over one issue, but to talk about another one that is already being rumored around. WrestleMania is the biggest show of the year, or as biggest sports entertainment event of the year, as they love to proclaim. And there's already rumors of Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson.
That motherfucker even still work for WWE? We haven't seen him since he lost the title.
Well, he's getting sued right now.
Oh,
And he had a
Lord.
baby.
He is getting sued. Isn't Prime and Lunchley getting sued?
Yes, he's in the middle of a lawsuit right now. Yep.
For what?
Oh, baby.
Of course Prime is
Oh,
getting
one of
sued.
them.
Moldy Cheese.
Yeah, one of them from Minnesota has like the same pretty much thing as Prime, and it's like they ripped off their stuff and they sent him a cease and desist, and Prime wasn't even gonna like indulge in it. So and there's a lot of similarities. It's a thing out of Minnesota, another like energy drink company. So I mean, he's involved with that. He's involved with the Lunchables. Like he's in the middle of a lot of litigation right now. And to go into Rob's point, I mean, you got the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, for WrestleMania. So I mean, Logan Paul at the end saying, "I'll kill you, Mike, if you fight me." So I mean, Logan Paul and Mike Tyson. I really don't want to see that. I'm good. I'll pass.
He said, "I'll fucking kill you, Mike."
I'll fucking kill you, Mike. I mean, dude, we were supposed to get Mike Tyson and Triple H at WrestleMania 17. That was one of the original ideas they were talking about back in 2001. So imagine if we got Mike then as opposed to now.
Mike can be in his most geriatric stage. That's 4 words I would never have the balls to say to Mike Tyson.
Right, but he would still fuck Logan Paul up. I would run the other one.
Yeah.
I would pay to see that, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't have to pay to see this one.
Of the two Paul brothers, Logan's got the more punchable face.
He does.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He does, 100%. And Rob has a beautiful point. Thank God we didn't really have to pay for this one. So, I do want to... Is this going to be an issue going forward? I mean, January is fucking less than like 45 days away.
45 days. They better hire some more techs, some more engineers. Get raise up that bandwidth, baby, because you might not get 100 million or whatever the view is, but WWE is a very, very global brand, and I hope Netflix understands that. You are going to have traffic.
Oh yeah,
of the worldly kind.
There it is, of the worldly kind.
What changes things? I know you said they likely won't get 100 million. Part of the ratings you got to realize is because it airs live, basically in the U.S. and Canada. UK, they're up if they want to watch Raw live. They're having to stay up till the ass crack of dawn.
Oh yeah,
I know at least one person that might.
I know a few.
Yeah,
but now it's airing simultaneously. Like it's going to be airing. It's not going to air on tape delay anywhere. It's going to be like Tyson. So I got to think, and this honestly, this gave me flashbacks to the old WWE Network when they first launched. And I remember it was at the first NXT takeover, and it was the same thing. It would air for a little bit, buffer, and I guarantee you, Triple H, he's probably on the phone with Netflix being like, guys, what the fuck?
He was at the fight. Wasn't he at the fight?
He was at the UFC fight, I think.
The UFC fight.
Yeah, you're right. He was at the UFC fight.
Yeah, he was hugging our president and hugging Dana White and saying hi to Joe Rogan. Hi, Joe. Hi.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Pay me!
Oh, no. Hey, me! I'll go on the dance point with Triple H being on the phone. I, too, remember that. You look at NXT Arrive, like when they had Paige and Emma for that women's championship, and you had Neville and Bo Dallas in that ladder match for the NXT championship. The constant of it'll start and then it'll stop. That was a lot of the early introduction to the network, so, I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, when you look at how old that was, and that's 10 years ago that we're really discussing right now. I mean, the Netflix, it goes with any bugs with any type of form of channel and broadcasting, but hopefully they can get that fixed, man, because that is going to be a son of a bitch if that keeps happening.
Yeah,
I've been hearing, because I don't keep up with the sports as much as I should. They're going to be broadcasting NFL games on Netflix as well.
Yep, they got a big game at Christmas.
Oh baby!
So
I guess that'll be the trial run.
I was literally just going to say the same thing, that's going to be their next big thing. And if they can hang with that somehow, if they can somehow fix it between now and Christmas, which is plenty of time, then they all should be well. Question is, can they do it? So we'll figure that out.
What do we know what game that is? Is it going to be like two marquee teams?
It's a Chiefs game. That's all I remember.
You know people are going to be watching.
Yeah, exactly. Chiefs are the current world champs. They're also the biggest,
but they just lost to Buffalo.
That's right, the biggest bandwagon fan base. You know what I mean? It's a pretty big game. No matter whom it is the Chiefs. So it's one that's going to get some heavy traffic. Hopefully it's fixed because again, as I said, 40-something days away. January starts and off goes Raw on Netflix, and hopefully it goes smooth. Because if it starts buffering, I'm fucking turning it off. But maybe that's just me.
I just would like
because Raw's going to be in LA. Let's just go to Intuit Dome and shake the receiver or something.
That's right. Just get it scrambled.
Unplug that shit. Plug it back in.
On January 6th, if people don't get their Raw on January 6th, who knows? Maybe they'll just storm the Netflix headquarters.
Oh wow!
Beautiful.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
I love it. Where is the Netflix headquarters?
I think it's in L.A.
Oh, hell.
Is it? Oh, shit.
Y'all gonna make me have to Google this up in here. Netflix.
GPS. Google that shit.
Los Gatos, California. Los Gatos, California.
Wow. Yeah, that's a couple hours for me.
I have no idea.
Isn't that up north?
Yeah.
Ah, crap.
That's northern California, I think.
Los Gatos, baby. Los Gatos.
All right, road trip.
Let's go.
As we plan for a road trip, it's time that we take a break. So, of course, I want to leave y'all pondering with some random wrestling fact. This WWE Hall of Famer and movie star has never competed in a SummerSlam event. Who is this competitor? Find out after the break.
What's up, guys? It's your TV champion here, Cypher, letting on you know to give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/MaxWrestling. We're available on all podcast platforms as well. And give us a check out on social media too, such as Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. Also, check out the beautifully done website of maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com. New episodes every Thursday. Come and check us out, like and subscribe. Love you guys.
Welcome back to the TSK show with Mike. The boys and I, or what is it? These are the boys. I am Headfake. Speak my name and I appear. I'm already right here. Anyway, make sure you're liking and subscribing right here on the YouTubes. Follow us everywhere you can. And for more information that you need, head on over to maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com. And the answer to your random wrestling fact, drum rolls. Roddy Piper never competed in a SummerSlam. And for some bonus knowledge, he's also never been world champion. It's a damn shame. Damn shame.
Oh, he did beat the Mountie. He did a 7 Intercontinental Championship and a Tag Team Championship run under his belt with Ric Flair. Woo!
Mountie had like the greatest entrance ever. He had the greatest theme. Love that guy. Anyway, still to come. We got to talk last night on Dynamite, and we still got to predict this weekend's full game. But before we do, there's a whole lot of talking of AEW. It's time for another edition of DC's 30-second meltdown. DC, what's on your mind this week?
They talk shit, so much shit. Little virgins in the basement eating Cheetos, wearing Biscaynes. Listen to the shit Marks say.
And time is starting. We briefly mentioned it. I'm going to say it again. Fucking Netflix.
Fucking Netflix.
You have known for months now that this Jake Paul, fucking Mike Tyson fight was going to happen. You knew. You had more than enough time to get the infrastructure for your website ready to go. You had test runs with the fucking Tom Brady fucking roast bullshit.
Yeah.
You had more than enough time to get this going. There is no reason to not have enough servers online ready to go for the event. But for whatever reason, y'all thought, oh, hey, this will be fine. This is good. This is okay. No, this is not good. And you're paying WWE, and WWE's, giving you their flagship show. Not fucking SmackDown, not NXT, Raw. Their flagship show. So, if I'm WWE, I'm thinking, did we make the right call? Because, and they want to host the entire network, the whole entire WWE network. They want to take it from Peacock. Guarantee you Peacock is sitting there like, you were saying? So, you know what? Fuck Netflix right now. Seriously.
Hey. All right.
Yeah.
Good old-fashioned fun Netflix right now. I love it. All right.
The
so
fuckery.
The fuckery indeed. So, Mike, I have to pass it to you. So, the lovely world of wrestling, people love to, I guess, let's just, for lack of better terminology, put their foot in their mouth. And, well, TK seems to do it more often than I would like. So, what's in his mouth this week? Whoa, pause.
I got to put my glasses on for this because I can't see.
Pause.
Pause. Okay, so Tony Khan recently did an interview, and this is an excerpt from this interview from CHGO Sports. He was asked about black wrestlers being pushed and if it was a conscious decision. All right, I got to do the voice, so here we go. Well, I think I just said it. I'm conscious of it, black representation in wrestling. But I also think that these are all some of the best wrestlers in AEW. You just named some. We're really lucky to have those great stars. And we've been fortunate enough to be able to build some stars and also have a lot of great free agents coming to where I think so many of the top wrestlers, some of the top black wrestlers in the world are in AEW. I really think most of the top black wrestlers in the world are now in AEW. But I think that is a conscious thing. But I also think it's great, and it's awesome to hear that. Bobby, MVP, Sheldon, thank you for coming to my company. Mercedes, I love you. Thank you. I love you, God. Thank you. Yes, that was what Tony Khan had to say.
First of all, is Mercedes Hispanic?
Well,
No, she's black.
No, yeah,
black. She's black. Mixed.
She's half black.
I tried.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute, man.
I tried to help him out. I did.
Come on, man. She's black. The first they promoted that as the first ever African Americans were main eventing WrestleMania. Her and Bianca
look, with how bad she's been right now, I was trying to help the black guys. Okay, I was just trying to help them out. I'm trying to get them off the roster.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a dig at her personally. Actually, it was. She's terrible. She's god awful.
I feel the need to quote one of my favorite movies in reference to that Tony Khan quote. To quote Billy Madison,
Attaboy.
What you have just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Hey, Dan, a simple no would have been fine.
Dude. I love it.
Hey, Tony, will you pay him?
Pay him.
I'll pay you!
Oh, my goodness. All right, so let's hop into a little bit of last night on Dynamite. Let's be real. These crowds are killing me. We were in Reading, Pennsylvania. And just dead. But then again, in all good God reality, outside of this opener and a random segment here and there, what really was there on this show? Was there anything?
Nothing. This show was an absolute filler of an episode. Discussing it with other members of the TSK, what really went on here? The wrestling was fantastic. I think all of the wrestling that went down, great. These mother loving segments though, what the hell?
Quite a
Chris
few of
Jericho
them.
and Tomohiro Ishii going in slow motion.
Don't that just hurt. That hurts my brain. Like why? Like first off, the slowest chase I've ever seen by two wrestlers ever. It made them both look just terrible, god awful. Like
This is the stone pet bull, man. Come on.
He can't run, and you made this cat run from one side of the arena to the other. What are you,
Been
what are
in
you doing,
America
Chris?
for a while. His cardio is probably not great.
What are you doing, Chris? What are you doing? This guy's been
Chris,
eating
what are you
barbecue. You know what I'm saying? He's been eating barbecue. Anytime they come to California, he's probably stuffing his face with some Mexican food. Like
In and out.
he ain't running. She ain't running. Come on.
But hey,
Top heavy.
this is where the best
Hey.
wrestle.
This is where the
Yeah,
best
you have
wrestle.
the stupid pen, friggin' having him with the pen, and then he gets low blowed and chop blocked, and he falls over like a friggin' old man tripping, like, whoa! Like watching your grandpa fall. I'm like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? And then everything that happened afterwards was just fuckery upon fuckery. I'm like, that's the only blessing here that Tony can give us is the fact that this match is not on the pay-per-view this week and it's the next week. That is a blessing. Not Mercedes
it that.
Moné to the company. It's a blessing that it's next week.
I'll give it that. Nice showing by the Don Callis family. Takeshita, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Kyle Fletcher against Ricochet, Will Ospreay, Mark Davis, Powerhouse Hobbs. By the way, real quick before we talk about the match any further, should I say Rob Will? Does anybody really believe that Ricochet could really be a world champion? And I'm not being an asshole. At least I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be. I'm being for real. In a reality sense, with his lack thereof charisma, but his over the top style and his wooing you in matches, is that enough to be a world champ?
No.
It's fucking goddamn.
I'll be the odd man out here on the ship by myself to the Lonely Island.
Are you going to choose your pens?
I am. I traded my ticket to Titty City in for a ship.
You on a boat?
I'm on the boat. I'm on the boat, baby. I'm on the boat.
All right.
Doing flips and shit, like Ricochet. But I believe this man could be a world champion at some point. There's things that he's missing. There's some definite holes in his game. Being in WWE probably didn't help him all that much. All these nerds crying about him not being there. What did he do there? He did not do much there. This is where he wants.
Champion, multiple time United States champion, Dusty Classic winner,
North American champion.
And nobody remembers this.
And I was just gonna say, and yet I still remember Lucha Underground more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, Prince Puma and Rey Mysterio, absolutely. The first Ultima Lucha, absolutely. I mean,
great.
I will say this about his career. I mean, with Ricochet and that, I think the random pairing of him and Aleister Black, which was a great tag team, very random, but yeah.
But it worked.
Exactly. It worked.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's just they haven't done anything since we saw the new crop. It's like, I've always said this. You have a Bobby Lashley in AEW now. Why do I need a Bobby Lashley when I got an Obafemi? Why do I need a Ricochet when I have a Carmelo Hayes? So he sees all these people that are superseding and exceeding. Like with him, great style of wrestler. I've loved the Prince Puma days. I've loved the PWG days. We could be here all day. But it's more than just, I'm a flip, I'm a dip, and then I'm going to give you the tip. Like,
Hey.
no, there's got to be more to it.
Whoa. But the point I was going to make, the thing about him being in AEW as opposed to WWE, they're going to give him a mic, and you're either going to sink or you're going to swim.
Yep.
See, things like promo ability, things like charisma, there's these things you either have or you don't. But at the same time, you can be taught that stuff. You can taught to be how to do promos. Did they really give him much of that chance in WWE? Not really.
No.
Are they going to give him that chance in AEW? Probably. Is he going to suck at first? Hell yes, because we all sucked at first. With the four of us doing promos and Max.
Yeah.
Hey.
If we were all to go back and look at our first promos,
Oh no! Don't do that.
they were shit. Every
Don't
single
do
one
it.
of them. But we learned, we developed. The same thing will happen with Ricochet. I think he'll get it together in due time. And I was going to talk about this later in the show, but his Twitter rant last week.
Hey.
I mean, give us that Ricochet on TV. Just
Yeah.
being an absolute, just give he, people were surprised that he had that in him. It's always been there. He's just never had a platform to let it out. And on Twitter, you're free to do whatever the fuck you want on there.
Yeah.
It's there. You just got to give him the opportunity.
I'll just say real quick. Don't be a keyboard warrior. That should have been on the microphone.
And I mean, when you're telling everybody, because, like, I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry, Dan, but it's like when you look at what he did with Zack Sabre Jr. and he told the guy to suck his dick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're seeing more of that aggressive side of him. You see it on Twitter now, but, it is what it is. Go ahead, I'm sorry, Dan.
I'll just say this. Maybe world champ, but you definitely don't want it to be, like, a long reign. A short 1, maybe 2-month reign? Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, but
it's going to take him some time to get there.
I'm excited for him in a Takeshita match. I think it's going to be very good for that international championship. Yes. So, I mean, the trajectory is there for that because you have both incredible athletes, and it fulfills the story of he didn't get pinned at the last one, as did Will Ospreay. So, I mean, I'm here for that. I mean, I think the match quality is going to be really good, but let's see when he picks up that mic, that pretty Rico, that is Ricochet. So, we shall see.
We shall see. So, Rob, I did miss this 8-man. How was it? Sounds like a banger.
You know what? This match was an absolute banger, and personally, I was expecting Ricochet to turn heel on this, given his Twitter shenanigans last week.
Hey.
And if I were him, I would have doubled down and maybe kicked Will Ospreay in the dick or something to kind of solidify this. That didn't happen, but this match was 8 of probably the best wrestlers in the company, and they all got to showcase their ability. Everything from Hobbs showing his power, the returning Mark Davis. I believe this was his first match back. It was good to see him do his thing again. You got a couple of teases for some future matches. One being Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis, which I think would be a fantastic match.
Sign me up.
The one thing that I was absolutely befuddled by was Brian Cage's fucking beard. Holy shit. Brian Cage had a full beard.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Where did that come from? Is it real? I don't know.
Brian
Cage beard.
I have one gripe though. You know what the gripe I'm going to have is, and the fact that I love the match, Adam, to your point. But why? But you know why? Why the hell is he in the Don Callis family? They never explained why the hell he's in the Don Callis family.
He picked him up as a free agent.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
Yeah. So there was a deal between Jake the Snake Roberts and Donathan Callis. Okay. So basically,
the Scar Man.
Jake sold Lance Archer to Don in exchange for other talents. So that's how Jake Roberts picked up LFI.
Okay, I understand that. Cool. Thank you. All right. I must have missed that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, trust me, it was fucking random as shit in a backstage segment.
It was, and it was such a tiny segment that a lot of people did miss it when actually it should have been a much bigger deal.
It should have been, absolutely.
Because people are like, why the fuck are Archer and Cage together? How did that happen? Why is, Jake Roberts with LFI doing the fist? What's going on here?
Oh, you mean like why is Chris Statlander a babyface all of a sudden because she had an epiphany? I understand.
Hey, boy, that's a whole nother show for another time.
That whole segment, that Don Callis family, Jake the Snake segment, they'll reference it in about 3 years. On a random episode.
Remember that time when Don Callis, Brian Cage and all that. Remember when Brian Cage was with Arn Anderson on that episode of Rampage back in August of 2021? Remember that time?
Fuck.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
At 9:13 and 52 seconds.
Oh yeah, you would.
He says.
Yeah, you would.
They were in Boca Raton, Florida. It was a sunny day. Get together, Tony.
What is this? A Tale of Two Cities? It was the best of times. It was the worst.
It was the worst of times.
That was the winter of our discontent.
Yep.
I get knocked down, but I get up. Oh,
I get up again.
That's where we were going.
Pissing the night away, goddammit. Pissing the night away. Chumbawamba on your ass.
Chumbawamba.
To the boat.
So, Going to Adam Cole, I guess we're going to skip a couple segments. We're kind of just going to gloss over Dynamite. But speaking of Adam Cole, he goes out. He's talking about missing out on Full Gear. Story time with Adam Cole. Says that MJF succeeded in doing everything in his power to keep Cole from getting him his match at Full Gear. One person who has who won successfully is Roderick Strong. He will kick MJF's ass on Saturday. Kyle O'Reilly comes out. They bring up how they've been, it's like 14 years ago. I guess he was there in Reading or whatever. I don't fucking know. They continue on. They're being associated, his association with Cole over the years, all they've been through, NXT, the hoop, blah, blah, blah. O'Reilly asks what makes Cole think what Cole, holy crap, I don't even know what the hell I typed half the fucking time. So they're going on about MJF, calls him an evil bastard. It's a good thing. Kyle O'Reilly leaves the ring. Adam Cole just fucking ponders his way out. It's dead silence. Extremely awkward. What does this mean for Adam Cole?
This whole segment was awkward, to be honest. I believe even Excalibur may note it, or somebody may note it. Like, Kyle O'Reilly just kind of awkwardly walks away. Like, that's what we're saying. Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly has randomly walked away. What's gonna happen next?
We don't know. Because we don't know what the fuck is going on.
Does Tony Khan even know what's going on?
No.
No, I'll fly by the seat of my pants. Yeah.
Week by week.
Week by week.
I love you all. Kiss me. Hold me. Squeeze me.
Oh, wow. Don't do that one.
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Save me, Tanahashi-san.
Save me, there it is. Save me, Tanahashi-san. All right. Chris Statlander gets a little bit of build as she's heading towards. What the fuck does she got going on? Does she got Mercedes Moné?
TBS Championship.
That's right. She's right. She's been the one beating the living crap out of Camille each and every week. So good little match against who's it? Hikaru Shida. Always looks good. Bobby Lashley comes out. The Shoys, not two Jahoobs. One of my guys I know. The other guy is a Jahoob. But Cheeseburger. I haven't seen Cheeseburger in fucking years. I don't know where the hell this guy's been.
I'm not gonna lie.
Cheeseburger. Yes.
Him and Jushin Thunder Liger, man, the infamous palm strike. I love that, man. Yep.
That's right.
He should be in ROH.
Should be. I don't know. He's fucking ROH legend for crying out loud.
Absolutely. Pay him, Tony.
Pay him.
Pay him with the cheeseburger, double up on the bacon and the double cheese. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, Mike. Claudio Castagnoli against Darby Allin was a fucking massacre. It was a fuck. I said last week that it was Gut Wrench City. It's the same thing. Claudio is doing everything he can to be a much smaller in stature version of Brock Lesnar.
I think at this point Darby just absolutely loves getting murdered week by week, because just for the last few weeks he's been getting thrown in shit, thrown off of shit, power bombed through this, that, and the other. There was some very cringe, and not like in a bad way, but like, goddamn, that I'm sure that hurt. Moments in this match.
Too many military moments. Press slam. Everything from that, just that friggin' bump from that military press slam onto the timekeeper's table. It really just goes the extremes that Darby Allin is always willing to go from his inception in AEW. And I mean, Claudio has always been that brute from his tenure in Ring of Honor, him and Chris Hero and the Kings of Wrestling. The man has the freaking strength of a gosh darn horse. So, I mean, this is how you really should be exuding and showcasing Claudio. I thought it was perfect.
100%. That table, though, said, I am the table. It did not break.
No.
I do enjoy how Darby was kind of wrapped up, like he was going nighty night. That was that was a beautiful touch. Good job, Darby.
Good job.
Mike, you talked about Claudio's strength. Look at the swing when he swung Kali.
Oh yeah, I know.
I forgot.
For me, I want the world title on Claudio.
I'm right there with you. I think a lot of us would like to see that. I mean, I'll go do you one better. Like, I remember in ROH 2005, I was there when he wrestled Milano Collection AT at the friggin' Sports Plus on Long Island. Like, that was the first time. Yeah, that was the first time I saw Claudio. I mean, that was the first time I saw Claudio coming out to that, Sledgehammer, I've Got to Have It, Jermaine Dupri, Nas, and Monica type of vibes from the Big Mama's House soundtrack. I mean, that guy is just pitch perfect ever since his inception, man.
You know what? Since we're talking about Claudio, he did have a moment to talk during the promo, the Death Riders promo, and he started, speaking in another language. And I forget, Claudio has this ability to speak like 13 languages.
Yeah.
It's not that many. It's 7.
Is it
but
7 or that was 9?
It might be 9 now. I know it was 7 at a point, and I know he was learning more. Like, this man has the ability to absorb this shit.
Got the big brain.
Let him cut promo in another language. I think that promo that he did, and I want to say it was German, maybe Swiss. I don't know.
Right,
It was, yeah, but it sounded good. It kind of gave this different demeanor to him that I think a lot of people were, really dismissive about him when he came over from WWE. Like, oh, he can't cut a promo, he can't talk, he can't do this. Well, you give him a chance to refine that ability, and he will. That was
when
that was
they
a good
finally gave him,
part.
when they finally gave him that title shot with Roman during the COVID era, like we really got to see what he was about. And mind you, he didn't win the championship, but that really showed up and showed out what Claudio was, especially the Seth Rollins match. I mean, when you're hitting with the top tier talent, and finally him getting to showcase that. He already had it. We always knew it, but sometimes you just got to remind us and actually let these people do their thing. Vince McMahon.
They had this. They did it on a couple of the NXT UK tours overseas. They had Cesaro versus Gunter.
Yes.
Him and Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah. That's a good one.
He can
Good
do
shit.
it. He is a guy that gets over so well with the crowd, whether he's a good guy, bad guy, whatever. Why he hasn't been AEW World Champion yet is beyond me.
Because people think he can't talk, and he was never really allowed that chance in WWE. We kind of seen it here and there in AEW.
When you have a nut boss yelling, "Oh my God, he's Swiss!" So
Speaks better English than some people I know, bro, that are American. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
All the languages.
Exactly.
Look,
Let that man cut a promo in Swiss, German, French, Espanol.
One of them, because the reality is it would do him wonders. It would expand him in a way. Because I remember one time, I want to say it was more than a few times, where Kevin Owens was going around cutting promos in French. Yeah, and he got this massive reaction over it, and it was like it worked well for him. I'm sure it could do excellent work for Claudio, especially considering that he's a heel.
And you can honestly, like, you could even have him do overseas media.
Yes, dude.
Like, from a corporate perspective, from a business standpoint, somebody like Claudio should be a promoter's dream.
Seriously though, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
No, sir. Cannot do.
He said it.
He said it.
Tony, whatever you're paying Cesaro, pay him more.
Pay him some more. Got to talk about this weird segment with Jack Perry, Daddy Magic, and fucking Daniel Garcia, where Jack Perry is tied up in a chair, and Danny Garcia has a fucking crowbar, and he's getting ready to beat his ass, and instead he destroys the van. And then kind of leaves him there.
What the fuck was this segment?
All right, I'll say it. So you had Alex Wright Jr., a.k.a. Daniel Garcia.
Oh, that's messed up.
And you got Teenage Jesus, Jack Perry.
Yeah, that's funny.
So...
What about me? What about Jungie?
What about Jungie?
I like Daniel Garcia. I do. He is a very talented, skilled technician. He knows submissions. He's very good. But he sucks on the fucking microphone. But yeah, then we had this. I'm sorry. But I know why you like a Buffalo over here. Okay. So then we had this. It reminded me of when, like, Randy Orton, it was like a amateur version of when Randy Orton, like, kidnapped Bray Wyatt in, like, that one room with the freaking garage before No Mercy 2016. But this was, like, an amateur version of that, and this is, like, God rest his soul, if Bray Wyatt shrunk,
God
Jungle Boy. And then you have I know. And then you have Daniel Garcia, whatever, and just it was whatever. If this was supposed to build, because they did this angle on Collision where they kidnapped him, they had him tied, they took the scapegoat bus, and it brought us to here, him just damaging the bus and then just walking out, and Daddy Magic's like, Danny. And I'm just like, nothing. It was a nothing segment that tried to get built to a match where it's just very meh, and it very much flatlined on something that was very supposed to be built because of the TBS championship. And not I'm sorry, TNT championship. Thank you.
You were trying to get a taste.
I'm trying to get a taste. Thank you.
And you missed it. And you missed it, Danny.
I'm sorry, Danny. You're trying to get a taste. What are you doing there? Where are you going, Danny? Where are you going?
Oh, my goodness. I'm totally going to go backwards and gloss over. No, I wouldn't say the gloss over the segment. But we did get a cool little 10 seconds for all you prayers out there by Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May. They're getting ready for their celebration. The Jiggles is on. Renee is just disgusted. Just disgusted. But I love it. And then we go to the main event. Talk about the main event. This is a great main event. Like this main event a lot. Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta. I want to say kind of like this teacher-student dynamic. I really want to say like one of them was training the other one. I forget.
I forget Orange Cassidy is 40 years old.
Then it was Orange that was training. Because good God. He's fucking 40?
Yeah. So he's doing good.
You're telling me
not so much.
Yeah, hey.
But yeah, apparently Orange was a teacher to young Yuta.
The young Yuta. Good match. Overall good stuff. And just to kind of make it fast, Yuta cannot believe that he absolutely lost. Cassidy is out there, tries to go shake his hand. That's when Pac shows up. Claudio shows up. Marina Shafir shows up. John Moxley shows up. They duct tape his hands. Force his hands in his pockets. Taped his arms together. They just start beating the living dog mess out of him. Punches, slaps, you name who. Kicking him. Forearm. He's lifeless. The commentary table says that's when the conglomeration comes out. Scares everybody away. And this is setting us up for this weekend, where apparently it is being, I guess, what is it? The control. Excalibur is really pushing. The winner of this has the control of All Elite Wrestling. So will it go to the Moxley Murder Crew, or will it stay under the control of AEW? Again, very NWO. Very NWO.
It's the abandon all hope, as Moxley put it last week. And I mean, this beatdown is very reminiscent of any gang type you've seen in a movie. I mean, in 2007, there was a movie called Death Sentence that starred Kevin Bacon, and the initiation was Matthew O'Leary at the time killed his kid, and then Kevin Bacon went buck wild, and John Goodman was in it as the kid's father. He said, killed a little piss pants, see if I care. So you had that gang affiliation type of style, revenge, if you will, and they kind of smacked him around like you would see any type of fight that you would see as far as like an after-school fight or whatever. So they had those increments there. Unfortunately, they had Marina Shafir there, but I won't go there. But you had so many things that really... I'm sorry, she's terrible. You don't know me, And friggin', what do we do with problems? You solve them. No effing shit. We solve them. She sucks. And this whole initiation of that was fine. But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to build to the main event. Abandon all hope. What a tangled web we weave. Whatever.
Tangled web indeed. Oh, goodness. Okay, so let's just hop right. Actually, no, pause. Before we get into the predictions, very quickly, last week we crowned a champion in the Golden Gauntlet. The world champ has survived it all. He will go on to face our current television champion, Cypher, this coming promo series, or I should say next week on promo series. But because this has to go down, Cypher knew who his challenger was. This is a message from the champ to the challenger.
Well. Seems like the Golden Gauntlet has officially come to an end. And the winner of this year's Golden Gauntlet is none other than the pioneer, Jonathan Beer. Good job, Johnny boy. Way to survive. Well, barely survive. I mean, you did kind of start at the end, but it's alright. I'm not going to take your flowers away from you because you deserve it. But I will say this. I've always said good things about you, Johnny boy. I'm the one that gave you the nickname the Pioneer. And now you get to face me at Promo Series 9 for my TV Championship. And if you think you're going to walk out beer 2 belts, well, you're a lot drunker than I thought you were. But at the same time, who knows? I got a briefcase just in case something does happen. So I need you to keep that very heavily in mind as you face me at Promo Series 9, November 28th. But, you know what, Johnny? I got nothing but good things to say about you. You're the Pioneer. You're the world champion. You're about to beat the podcast machine, Mike Larkin. You're on top of the world, Ma. You're on top of the world. But make no mistake, my briefcase is still active. And if you don't know, now you know. But again, congratulations, Johnny. I'll see you at Promo Series.
Let's go right into Full Gear predictions. One guy I glossed over is the Costco guy. Big Boom AJ. Big Boom AJ? Is that how you fucking... Whatever.
Yes, Big Boom AJ.
The guy apparently used to wrestle. Mike knows a little bit more about him. Against QT Marshall. Before we predict that, Mike, tell me something about this guy outside of the Costco and the big cookie, or whatever the hell, big chocolate cookie.
So his real name is Andrew Bufumo, and I had to look it up too because I'm like, why does that name sound familiar? And actually, someone that Moses Marquez and I have seen as far as a YouTuber, Grimm's Toy Show, has worked with this guy in the past. Yes, Grimm's Toy Show.
That makes a lot of sense.
He was a wrestler in the 90s until 2005. He went by the moniker of the American Power Child Eric Justice. So his last match was in 2005. He did like a 1 or 2 shot, once in 2019 and once in 2021. But mostly he's just been living his life, being a family man that he is. He got very popularized with the Costco guys and the Boom! And recently QT Marshall just did a diss track called I Bring the Doom, and that's what I am. And he's more of a BJ's guy than Costco, as he put it in his little diss track.
Nice.
So that has been their build. QT Marshall got involved in 2004 in professional wrestling, the Monster Factory, very much based in New Jersey. You see the independent circuit, right? You have Rawway, New Jersey, where you had Jersey All Pro Wrestling, which had guys like Homicide and Low-Key and Trent Acid, God rest his soul, and Johnny Cashmere, the Backseat Boys. You had promotions like NWA Cyberspace, ran by Billy Firehawk. So when you think of prime New Jersey independent wrestling circuit, you think of guys like Powell, Power Child, Eric Justice there, and QT Marshall. So I mean, they've been friends, but in this particular scenario, it's someone who's safe that can work with AJ since he hasn't really been in the ring as much as a QT Marshall. So I mean, they know each other. It's in New Jersey. It's in the human cesspool of New Jersey, Noah's Newark. Don't ever go at the Prudential Center. No. But nonetheless, it's a homecoming for people. See, Daniel could even attest with me on that because Newark is doo-doo.
Goodness gracious. All right, so then real quick, we normally don't do pre-shows, but let's hop into it. Who we taking for this one, Mike? Since you put it beautifully, does the up and comer, the new guy, the chocolate chunk cookie guy, Costco's, does he pick up a dub or is it QT? That easy.
Just for the record, I'd also like to add that they were on Jimmy Fallon promoting this, and Jimmy Fallon was like, yeah, AEW. I'm like, well, this is what you should be doing, Tony. More mainstream. These guys got on Jimmy Fallon. You know what I'm saying? But no, Tony's going to be Tony. I digress. But in this particular scenario, I got to go with the Boom! Big Boom AJ over QT Marshall because Moses Marquez, like he said this week on AEW, and as he said on social media, he's going to give him the power boom. So I got to go with Big AJ.
Big AJ. Okay, I like it. Big AJ for Mike. Rob, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm also going with Big AJ. There's just something about him. I had no idea who this guy was prior to all of this, so I'm intrigued by the Boom.
He's intrigued. Okay, so all right, Rob with Big AJ. DC, talk to me. We on the Big AJ train?
I think Big AJ's membership is about to get canceled. I'm going with QT Marshall, not QT Marshall, Michael. It's QT Marshall. I'm going QT for the win.
QT Marshall. I like
Just
it.
because of Jersey. Just because of New Jersey.
Jeez.
I love it. So I'm gonna I'm with DC on this one. I feel like, you know what I mean. The veteran is this guy. I understand he's wrestled some time, and the big Chuck Cookie, whatever. Maybe this was pushed a little bit more than one episode of Dynamite. I'd probably be a little bit about it. I don't know if it was on Rampage or Collision. I can't tell you. So I'm gonna stick with QT, and it's gonna be. I think this will still be a fun little entertaining pre-show match. So it's one worth watching. So. Let's get into the actual show itself. And I think this is probably where they're going to start. So let's go with this one with the start. MJF versus Roderick Strong. Rob, I want to go ahead and start with you. Who you got for this one?
You know what? I'm going to go with Roddy. But with the caveat that I think Adam Cole is going to get involved and turn on him.
Oh, turn on him? Okay.
Yeah, because that should have been Adam, and Adam isn't having that.
Should have been me. To the big Ziggles. Mike. Should it be Roddy?
No. I'm a Long Islander, so I'm going to go with the Long Island guy, MJF. I think what we saw this past on Dynamite was the fact that, he's talking about, much like Roderick talked about in his WWE thing when he got into NXT after the Undisputed Era breakup. Roderick came from the trailer park, you know what I'm saying? He saw his mom shoot his dad. They were alcoholics, and MJF said on This Week on Dynamite that you're going to wish that your mama would have shot yourself. So I'm going to go with MJF for the win over Roddy Strong. The Messiah of the Backbreaker is going to have his back broken, and it's going to be spinal. So I got to go MJF.
Spinal.
DC, is it spinal?
Spinal.
Honestly, I don't think we're getting an Adam heel turn. I think, honestly, I think Roddy's going to get beat really bad. I'm going MJF for the win.
MJF.
It's going to further the storyline. MJF for the win.
I would like for it to be Adam Cole interfering to help his buddy, help keep the camaraderie going, but we know good goddamn well that this isn't going to go like that. And Adam Cole is probably going to be a little bitter. So I'm kind of digging what Rob is saying.
Because there's this little subtle face turn for Roddy that's was kind of being hinted about.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidgen.
So because of that, I am gonna be in the same boat as Rob. I'm gonna say MJF gets involved. He's gonna end up costing MJF the match, leading to Roddy winning, causing a breakup, and then they're probably gonna turn on him. Why'd you do that? I was gonna beat him on my own, and you shouldn't have. It's gonna be one of those kind of finishes where they're gonna hate each other for it. So I too will go with Roddy. And I like this so far. I like the indifference so far. This is great. Jay White.
Did you just say? Good, I'm sorry.
What if Roddy turns on Adam after the match?
I think that's what I'm saying.
Always a possibility. It's always a possibility.
Definitely what I'm saying.
Mo, I was about to say, did you just say that MJF is going to cost MJF? Do you mean Adam Cole is going to cost MJF?
No, you got it right. You got it right. MJF is going to cost himself the match.
That's what I'm saying. MJF screwed MJF.
That's right.
He's going to hit himself with a diamond ring.
It's very Vince McMahon of you. I love this. Jay White.
That would be fantastic.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you to clean up your stitches. Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. This is just a plain singles match. This is not anything hardcore. It's nothing crazy. But Hangman has nobody, and Jay White has the entire Bang Bang Gang. Because I have no idea what the fuck Austin and Colton are doing. So they can obviously help him. Juice ain't doing shit. He could do something. So, DC, I'm going to start with you. Does Jay White get a much-needed win and push and elevation? Or does the Hangman stove just kind of simmer a little longer?
Honestly, if I were doing this, I would have the Guns turn on Jay White and help Hangman win. And do something with the Guns and Hangman. Give the Guns kind of that much-needed reset where they're not, the kind of the chuckle fucks, and you have them just be, kind of more in your face, kind of like ruthless heels.
The chuckle fucks.
Guns 2024.
Oh.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so Hangman for DC. Rob?
You know what? I have thoroughly enjoyed Hangman's descent into madness.
Yes.
It's been a very, very compelling story that has been told. Plus, he has a fantastic mustache.
Fantastic. Tom Selleck should be jealous.
He very well should be, but I think Jay needs this, so I'm going Jay White.
Okay, I'm kind of in that boat, but Mike, I want to hear from you first.
I gotta go Hangman and his porn stash. I mean, this is going to be the rubber match of what happened last one. Jay White got the win at the last pay-per-view, so I see Hangman winning. I mean, these two have had classic matches from their tenures in Japan and Ring of Honor, respectively and collectively. So I gotta go with that boy, Hangman, Adam Page, cowboy shit into cowboy madness. So I gotta go Hangman for the dub.
Hangman is channeling his inner Stan Hansen to the fullest of the degrees, and I love it. And I do, but I've also said that AEW has been wasting a lot of guys, and Jay White is a prime waste. A guy that should have been immediately contending in the AEW world title scene. This guy is a former IWGP world champion, a former whatever the fuck dual champion bullshit thing that they randomly had one year where you were both IC and fucking world champ. The fact of the matter is this kid's fantastic. It's fantastic, and he's being a little bit wasted, and Hangman can afford to lose. Hangman has as much momentum right now. Most of it's because of the stash. I'm not even going to lie. Most of it's because of the stash. The rest of it is because he's Hangman. He's gonna kind of just teeter. He can heat up when we need him to, and he can just be right there as a nice skillet for you when you need it. So I need him to be a skillet and lay down for Jay White.
That's one more time.
There it is, overtime. All right, let's hop into. Let's do a title match. Let's go right for the tag team titles. Fatal 4-way for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Private Party defending for the first time against the Outrunners, Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King, and the Acclaimed. So, of course, just like the triple threat rules for whoever pinned, I think it's one of the whoever gets the first pin becomes the new tag team champions. First question I have to ask, and I'm going to go with Mike on this. Is it too quick to get these belts off a Private Party?
Yes, and I will tell you why. I see Private Party retains in this match, and they pin the Acclaim, because let's not forget that MVP and the Hurt Syndicate gave Max Caster that card. He's thinking it over. He didn't give Bowen that card, so maybe Max does some type of chicanery that Bowen's is not really too keen on, and that leads to the slow dissension of the Acclaim, and this will see the start of the cracks, so to speak, here. So I have to go Private Party in this one, and I think the Acclaim takes the pin. Outrunners, it's a little too soon for them. I think they're going to cook because they're over right now. And I love me some Malachi, and I love me some Brody King as well. But in this particular scenario, I say Private Party retains in their first succession because of the dissension of the Acclaimed and that slow tease of a breakup, or that slow tease of maybe Max Caster is going to influence, much like Tommaso Ciampa is going to influence Johnny Gargano into the DIY heel turn, much like an Acclaimed heel turn. Maybe they get rid of Billy Gunn. Maybe they both go with the Hurt Syndicate. We shall see. But I think Private Party is going to get the win in this particular matchup.
Okay, I like it. Private Party gets a dub, retains their belts. They get to go on for a little bit. DC, same question to you. Is it too early to get these titles off of them?
Too early? Yes. Is it going to happen? Yes.
Oh.
I'm going, and honestly, if he doesn't do it, then he's never going to do it. I'm going Kings of the Black Throne.
Please and thank you.
You know, it needs to happen, but knowing Tony Khan, it probably won't.
I can't say I blame you on that one. We've had these kind of judgments from him before. The obvious team you should pull the trigger on. But at the same time, I still feel the same way. Maybe it's a little too early. Rob, do we feel the same? Is it too early?
Oh, man. See, the thing about Private Party is when they came into AEW, they had so much momentum behind them. They were a top tag team. They had so much going for them. And, you know, with the injuries piling up and stuff, you know, it obviously did them no favors. No. But even coming back into it, like, they still kind of floundered for a bit, and now they And I'm surprised that they got, they did pretty well with it, but they rebuilt them in about 2-3 weeks, which was, very good job. That's not something they've done a very good job with. But I think that anytime any member of House of Black is in a match, personally, I'm always going to choose Kings of the Black Throne, House of Black, because these are guys that should be at the top of any title contention, but basically the top of anywhere that they can be, and they're not, and it's they've been so squandered, it's almost disgusting at this point. I would love to see Kings of the Black Throne take it, but ultimately I think Private Party is going to retain, kind of how like Mike said.
Okay. So I get it, and I think I'm in 100% agreement with you up until the last part. I have been saying for weeks on end, hell, you can go back as far as years even, that this team has been just there. Brody King is a guy that by himself could be your big main monster in this company, and he's just there. He's just hanging out, doing random spots with Darby Allin because their buddies going back all the way back in the day. But now is a prime opportunity. Is it too early? Yeah, it's way too early to get rid of these fucking titles off these kids. It really is. But I don't see World's End being a better time to make a title change. I don't see whatever show we have else coming anywhere more towards the end of the year or even into January. I think now is the best time to pull the trigger. There's the speculation of Malachi Black possibly leaving. Well, make sure he doesn't leave. Personally, I am a sucker. I am a good old-fashioned sucker for the Outrunners. I say crown them now and just watch the freaking mullets just take over every arena they go to, but it's not going to happen. So because I don't think it's going to happen, I am going to go with the Kings of the Black Throne, the House of Black, because I think now is a perfect opportunity to stamp this. And then you can run it back where Private Party tries to get it back, and you can turn it into something. Give them a real team to work with. Allow Private Party to be rebuilt. If that means they have to chase the titles to regain it, then do it. Because I understand they just beat the Bucks, but they've immediately lost all momentum after the fact. So for me, I'm going Kings of the Black Throne. Looks like me and DC be in the same boat with some stuff, so that's cool. Everybody's going to be in this boat. However, I don't know about everybody. It's been a week of absolute ass kickery by one person, and the other two have just been taking it. So let's get into the AEW TBS Championship match. Chris Statlander challenging Mercedes Moné. Everybody's head is down. Camille will be at ringside. Neither one of these companies knows how to book a bodyguard. None of them. Not Triple H, not Tony Khan. So,
best wrestler here.
There it is. Rob was the only one that didn't immediately go for the crap, why are we doing this? So we're gonna start with Rob. I know you feel very similar to the majority here of please, for the love of God, get this belt off of this woman. Do you still agree? Is Chris Statlander a two-time?
I don't have a lot of room to bang my head on the desk here, so that's why I didn't do it.
Smart man.
But yeah, But get this goddamn belt off this woman, please.
Please.
For the love of God. Everything that she thinks she is, she isn't. She's quite the opposite.
Quite.
And hasn't been for a long time. Ever since she set foot into this company. She's put on maybe one good match. Maybe.
You'd have to still instruct me on where it is, but hey.
And honestly, that's just me being generous. Because I'm just being very generous about that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't think Chris is the right person for it, because as me and Mike were talking about earlier, like, what the fuck are they doing with Chris Statlander? She's a heel. Then she's like, no, I'm a face now. Then, like, what the fuck? She was an alien when she came into the company.
Yes.
Now she's just
a person.
I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chris, and Lord, I just hope Chris does take it. But given that Julia Hart is coming back, I think Julia needs to pick up where she left off.
I like that. So, DC, I know Mike's itching. I love it. I'm going to leave him for last. Mike's itching. DC, talk to me.
You know, as much as I like Statlander, we all know she's got fucking creative control because that always works out so fucking well. Tony Khan, you fucking dipshit. It's going to be Mercedes. Again, much to the surprise of no one. You know, I'll say I would not be surprised if they pull a Goldberg and they start pumping in cheers for her.
Oh, stop it. Don't.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I can't do it. So Mike's itching. Go ahead, Mike. Talk to me.
I'll pay you. Okay, so now that I got that out of my system, Mercedes Moné literally has only had 2 good matches in AEW: the Willow Nightingale match and the Stephanie Vaquer match. That was the only 2 that were good.
And both she was carried.
Oh yeah, but she got carried. But to Roberto's point, Julia Hart and Jamie Hayter makes absolutely no damn sense. If they make sense, first of all, I'm going with Mercedes because Chris Statlander, 7 o'clock in the morning, sunlight hits her face, she had an epiphany, the end. So in that particular scenario, that's literally what the storyline is. So literally that's what the storyline is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So with Julia Hart and Jamie Hayter, it makes no sense. So what I would do is, because if you remember her first interaction in AEW, Mercedes Moné and Julia Hart and Sky Blue, which was even ridiculous. Oh, by the way, Mercedes, guess what? Remember in that room? I attacked you. Bye. So that whole dichotomy that we had in the beginning of her AEW tenure, Julia Hart should be the one to attack her. Want her TBS championship back. I know she lost it to Willow, but she had that interaction with Mercedes. She should want her TBS championship back. She never got a rematch. That is the continuity that is lacking there. But unfortunately, in this particular scenario, Mercedes Moné, not worth the Moné. Throw her out the door. Oh, God, she just sucks. Mercedes Moné.
Okay. This is the part of the show where everybody's like, this remote's going to be like, nah, fuck that, nah, do that. But these gentlemen have a point. And I'm with Rob, and as much as I'm dying to start typing Chris Statlander, she doesn't feel big enough to be the one to take the belt off of her. Honestly, it could be anybody. It really could be. I mean this. But the reality is, it wouldn't just make sense. She's been absolutely dominating the crap out of him. And maybe that's how it's going to lead. The domination's going to go, and Statlander's going to win, and she's your new TBS champion. And she's this unbeatable force until Julia Hart shows up, and maybe they make that happen. But I think it would be a little better off if Julia is the one to challenge Mercedes. And at World's End, the Dark One takes the TBS title off of her. You know what I mean? Kind of play into the storyline of the name of the show. So, you know, the world's gonna end, blah blah blah, whatever. So because of that, and against my better judgment, I too will go with Mercedes. I kind of threw up a little bit, but again, it is to build the future. It is to build the future.
I have an update, by the way.
Please talk to me.
Okay. So she did an interview with Ring the Bell, that being Chris Stanley, and she explained why the split happened with Stokely Hathaway. And you're ready for this comment?
I'm loving it.
We had a common goal in destroying Willow, and I think we accomplished that. I think we just didn't have any we didn't have any goals after that. The goal was to take care of her. After that, I think we just kind of decided, you know what? The job is done. It's kind of like a handshake. You helped me, I helped you. We'll see if our paths cross again in the future or something. Then, he tried to pass the Spanish quiz and put my CMLL title shot on the line that I rightfully won. He put that on the line without me knowing, lost it, so not my fault. She tried to save that as why this bullshit makes no goddamn sense.
Oh, boy. Not a lot of sense made. You're 100% on that one there. All right, let's get into a match that I think we are...
Good try.
I don't know how to feel about this one. I don't know if I'm excited. I don't know if I can see the writing on the wall, but we'll get into it anyway. Swerve Strickland, Bobby Lashley. Does the Hurt Syndicate immediately get a push by beating the former AEW World Champion? Or does Swerve just say, hey, Bobby, we've seen you do it before. Sit the fuck down. DC, talk to me.
Should Swerve win this one? Absolutely fucking yes. But seems to be the path that Tony Khan is going with this bullshit. He's gonna have Lashley go over, further pushing Swerve down the fucking card, because that makes goddamn sense. It's gonna be Lashley, and you know, I'm sorry, Lashley's got an impressive look, but fucking hell, dude is not the future. He's not.
No.
He's on the back end of his career. He's just never been good on the mic. Swerve is a guy you have built things around, who you could, be. He could be the face of your company for years to come. But no, you have an old dude who's pushing 50, if not older, can't cut a promo to save his life and has to depend on MVP. Fuck.
47, but you're close.
Anyway, so Lashley may look good, but he ain't all there. Mike, do you already beat a brand new guy coming in?
It's a foregone conclusion for me, just because they came in with such allure to them being the new Hurt Syndicate, and they made that very apparent. I mean, if you read what Lashley recently said, and they did that interview, MVP even said, like, of the initial pushes, they wanted to do like a Raw version of the Bloodline where they were dominating Raw, and Triple H was like, no. And so now we're here. And so we have the Hurt Syndicate doing their thing here. I think with Bobby Lashley being the almighty and showing that stoic that he is, this is his pay-per-view debut. He's not losing to Swerve, and much as I don't like the fact that I think Swerve is going to lose 2 pay-per-views in a row since he lost to Hangman, man, I gotta go Hurt Lock for that boy Swerve. He ain't swerving, he ain't driving, he's just going to be flatlining. I'm going with that boy Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. All right, so Bobby Lashley it is for Mike. Rob, are we in the same boat? Does the former Bellator heavyweight champion pick up his first pay-per-view win in AEW?
Yeah, move over, boy, because I'm getting in the boat too. The Hurt business was one of the best things on Raw or whatever show they were on during the pandemic. It was on Raw. Yeah, see, pandemic era, there was very, very shaky time for me. But it was probably one of the best things WWE had going for them. And the fact that they broke them up and did fuck all with them was very, very, very disappointing.
Yes, sir.
I think WWE might have been the better platform for them to kind of showcase what they were trying to do. But a lot of people felt that they shouldn't have broken up. I was definitely one of them. And the fact that they have reformed into the Hurt Syndicate, it should be a good thing. Not the biggest fan of Bobby Lashley, but I think with this being his pay-per-view debut, and I would say his first real match that isn't, a Jehuber match.
Hey.
I think Lashley is definitely coming out with this. Will it really hurt Swerve? Probably not. Swerve is still probably better than all of them. So it's. I don't want to see Swerve lose, but he's gonna lose.
I don't want to see Swerve lose either. I think we're all in that same boat that him losing momentum isn't exactly on the checklist for us. But I don't really think he's gonna lose momentum. You know what I mean? I feel like this is gonna be one of those things where, as we've always said, worst case scenario, you could do a little fuckery. You know what I mean? You can get some people in there. MVP can get involved. Shelton Benjamin can get involved. Fucking apparently Adobe can notify me while I'm having a goddamn show go down. But you could do all these things to cause a distraction to make Swerve lose. Or again, you can have Lashley just win outright, which I kind of feel like you should do and put a little extra stink on it. You know what I mean? Put a little extra emphasis that we're going into the faction warfare, and this is one of the factions that is going to hang around. So I like Lashley winning. I don't know how much further you can really go though, and I don't see Lashley working with a Takeshita. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I barely see Lashley working with a Jack Perry.
Thank you.
So, I mean, it's like we're going to get this, and then what?
So pretty much what you're saying, Moses, is someone called the fuckery department.
Hey-o.
Yeah. You know what you could do, and I think, honestly, there's no way this should end clean. I mean, if you have this end clean, then yes, Swerve's going to lose momentum. I don't see any other way around it. Mo, I just had the idea. You had mentioned the Acclaimed possibly. You start this. What if you have Caster come out? Maybe he helps Lashley win. And then, come Dynamite, you have Bowen say, "What the hell was that? What are you doing? Why are you getting involved with them? You can't trust him."
I like that.
Maybe.
I like that. I mean, again,
if you have this end clean, and you have Swerve lose, then I don't see how he comes out looking good at this.
No, yeah.
And I think Lashley, when you have him up against, AEW guys, and it's not as a heavily produced, WWE style, I think he's going to get exposed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping the TNA shines in him. You know what I mean? The Impact days, hopefully those shine. But I don't know. Maybe it's not enough. We'll see.
Those are almost 8 years ago.
Swerve will put him to the test. Yeah, it has been a minute. Speaking of it's been a minute. These guys have known each other for a minute. It's friendships coming to head. Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher looking big, mean, younger, faster, better looking, you name it. He's looking like the better version of Will. Don't tell him that, though. He'll get all mad. So, DC, again, we're in the same boat as we were with the Swerve Strickland. Does Will Ospreay lose some momentum to Kyle Fletcher?
Again, this is one of those things. I don't think it should have happened right now. I think, it should have happened down the line. What you could do...
Match would have been great in February.
Hey.
Have a false match where the match never starts. Like, have, Will's getting the jacket off, and you just have Fletcher just jump him, just beat the ever-living dog shit out of him. Match never starts.
I like that.
I don't hate it.
Okay. I like it. So, Mike?
I mean, that way it keeps both guys from having to eat a loss.
I think the presentation of Kyle Fletcher, I mean, he was the guy eating a lot of the pins for the Don Callis family. I mean, ever since he shaved his head, he's a new man. He's got that heel mantra about him now, and I mean, they built to him and Will knowing each other, the closeness, and now he's throwing that friendship away. Classic cinema, classic storytelling of any type of feud within professional wrestling and outside the professional wrestling auspices. But in this particular scenario, I think this is a must-win for that boy, Kyle Fletcher, and I think that boy, Kyle Fletcher, is going to embarrass, hell, maybe if he wants to embarrass him, maybe hit him once again with his own move, the Tyler Driver 91, and boom, let's go. I gotta go Kyle Fletcher, the Protozoa, is it the Protozoa? Did I get that right?
Protostar.
Protozoa. I'm thinking of Disney Channel. Zoom, make my heart go boom, boom, my supernova girl. I'm going with the Protostar, Kyle Fletcher.
Good job.
Amoebas, mitochondria.
Yes.
Things of that nature.
Things of that nature. Rob, Kyle Fletcher got all the momentum in the world, or is Will Ospreay still untoppable?
Oh, man, this is another match where, I don't want to see Will lose. Nobody wants to see Will lose, bruv. But I think I'm going to go with Kyle on this one because Kyle he's got a lot of momentum going for him right now. He's got this whole new look. He's got a lot going for him right now, and I think, one thing we've always been critical about AEW on is them not pulling the trigger. They wait too long to pull the fucking trigger. And, this is one time that they shouldn't wait. You've got a guy who's, looking really good right now. Do what you can. Get what you can out of him. He's got some momentum. I think Will be fine. Yeah. I had to kind of say that to myself to really believe it, but I think Will be fine.
No, you're not in that boat alone, dude.
Yeah, Kyle. Yeah, Kyle's got to take this.
Kyle does have to take it, and you're not wrong. You know what I mean? You're not wrong to worry about the possible momentum here in AEW with the Will Ospreay, because this isn't like New Japan. where you could lose to a Tanahashi, to heaven forbid a fucking Gato or a Toru Yano. You have that moniker behind you. You don't lose too much momentum. But here, one match and that could change you. Now I'm hoping that that's not the case for this one, but at the same time, Kyle Fletcher has to get the W. And then the one thing none of us brought up is Don Callis. Don Callis has seemed to be a catalyst. I kind of like how I did there. In any match that he can get involved in. So to see him get involved in this one, pull the screwdriver out of his back pocket, sick the bearded Brian Cage on him, whatever have you. I think this could easily be some fuckery. Will Ospreay loses, then you lose zero momentum. Maybe you build it on to a little bit more, make it a cage match or whatever. You figure out something more to do. Because, again, after this, where does Fletcher go? Do you go right to Takeshita? Do you go right to Jack Perry? And then even then, so is it too quick? Do you need more? Should this go on longer? There's so many avenues to it. But for right now, I'm going to stick with Kyle Fletcher, and hopefully it plays out to something that we like moving forward. Speaking of moving forward and things that we like championships. Let's get into one of the last two. TNT Championship, Jack Perry defending against Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia, I want to say, has already won TNT Championship once before. No. Okay. No. So, there we go.
He had an opportunity, but he lost.
Okay, he lost to Christian Cage.
Cage.
That's right. To the greatest stepdad there ever was. So then, perfect. I'll lead it right into it. Rob, should this be the time? Jack Perry is aligned with the Bucks, and the Bucks kind of went boo, bam, goodbye. Does that mean that the same thing happens to Jack Perry?
I like Jack Perry. This scapegoat thing has been fan-fucking-tastic.
It's worked.
But yeah, it has worked. I do think he needs to go away for a bit. The Bucks are gone. Jack takes off. Okada's getting ready to start the Continental Classic.
Competitor, by the way.
We get some good Okada.
Yeah.
Out of these next couple of weeks, but I think Jack definitely needs to step away for a couple months, and I think that it's Danny's time. He's another one of these guys that's got a lot going for him. He almost lost him to the other company.
To the other side.
I think this would be the prime opportunity to not only get him to stay, but give him that push he deserves. He's put in the work. At least I think he has.
Gotta do the dance too. So, DC, are we dancing? Are we dancing with the TNT title?
Of course, I'm gonna pick my Buffalo guy.
That's right.
I got it.
Got it.
So you know what? Yeah, and I think it's time for Jungle Boy to pluck off for a bit.
Oh, not the Jungie. Not the Jungie.
What about me?
What about the
Jungie?
Tell me, Mike, what about Jungie?
I gotta go Daniel Garcia over Teenage Jesus. I think he's had the title a little bit too long now, and I think for what we have right now, with the, like you mentioned, the Elite splitting up, and I think Teenage Jesus goes off to the Holy Land, and we get Daniel Garcia winning the TNT Championship.
Teenage Jesus off to the Holy Land. Again, I put it perfectly. You guys have emphasized it with the lack of the Bucks, with the lack of the Elite presence outside of Okada. This is a no. This is a no. Go ahead and get the belt off of him. DG wins it. Jungle Boy goes away. Sorry, Jack Perry goes away for a little bit. Okada becomes face Okada without everybody around him, which hopefully would be cool. Throw in the random bitch every now and again. And we move on with our lives. I like it. I like one title change.
So sorry.
So now, as Excalibur put it beautifully, in a battle for AEW supremacy, it is Orange Cassidy challenging Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. Does Orange Cassidy have what it takes to beat Jon Moxley? I want to start with Mike on this one. We know that the Moxley murder crew I don't even give a fuck with their Death Riders, whatever. Moxie Murder Crew sounds better. We know that they're always there. We know they're always lurking. We know Orange has been beaten absolutely fucking senseless as often as they can. Does this give you the WWE formula and mean that because he's been getting his ass beat left and right that he picks up the win and becomes AEW World Champ?
So, I mean, we've been having a lot of fun and jokes on this, but if I could be serious for a minute, to quote Lance Storm, John Moxley and Orange Cassidy. I mean, Moxley's the one a year ago who defeated him for that international championship, his baby that he lost. And I mean, then Orange Cassidy beat him right back. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they had some history with one another, very epic encounters between the two. I think the presentation this year of Orange Cassidy, just a few with Trent being a part of the conglomeration. I mean, it is what it is, and now he being the unsung hero for AEW. Because when you think of AEW, you think of Orange Cassidy and what his legacy and lineage thus far in this 5-year-old company. And then also when you think of AEW, you also think of John Moxley. I mean, probably one of the main guys, the integral parts of the pandemic era with that AEW's World Heavyweight Championship. So I mean, both have been integral in their own respective ways, but I see John Moxley and the Death Riders, including Marina Shafir as the side piece. I gotta go with John Moxley retaining that AEW World Heavyweight Championship over that boy Orange Cassidy. I don't see a title change, but I do see John Moxley bleeding, stepping on you, kicking on you, and just molly-whopping and dog-walking, to quote Jacob Fatu, all over that boy OC and the place to be. Somebody get him a mimosa and ride him onto the sunset. I'm going with John Moxley.
The mimosa. Rob.
First and foremost, Orange Cassidy is great.
Yes.
He has been an absolute staple of this brand for years, since the beginning. He seems to get Jim Cornette in a mood. In a mood. And that's always fantastic.
It's so fun.
But I love this, what Moxley's doing, and you know, the fact that it comes off almost cultish at times. Like I'm legit ready to go join the Death Riders myself.
Right.
Which I know you're listening, Anthony Khan. Please put a Death Rider shirt on the AEW shop, please, because we need it. We need it now.
We needed it yesterday.
You know, I think Mox just absolutely dominates in this match. This whole mantra of creating a whole new AEW, that he's sick of what's been going on. Well, I'm fucking sick of it too.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's not what it used to be, and we need to go back to the beginning. We need a hard reset here, and I think our leader Jonathan Moxley is going to do that for us. And it starts, unfortunately, with Orange Cassidy. So Mox for the win.
So we don't get a Sting over Hulk Hogan moment. DC, do we agree with this? Is Mox going to lead us into the new way?
It's going to happen. Danhausen's going to come back and help
Yes, sir.
Cassidy win.
Oh,
No, seriously, realistically, we all know, you can see the writing on the wall. If you don't see it, you're blind. Read it. It's going to be Darby that's going to take it off Mox. So realistically, I think what needs to happen, OC just needs to get beat to holy hell. Maybe even to the point where, and you don't see it a whole lot anymore, referee stoppage.
I kind of dig that.
I
just
kind of dig that as well.
You know, just have it where he's just not fighting back. You know, maybe you even have, because somebody's pulling the strings for the Death Riders. Somebody's pulling this. You know, Shane has been rumored for the longest time. Maybe this would be a good time to, you know, pull back the wizard and pull back the curtain and see who the wizard is behind the curtain. You know, maybe now is the time to do that.
I like that. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it being Shane, but I've also said that it fits and makes sense. So if that's what ends up happening, that's what ends up happening. But I'm in total agreement with you guys. I always, you know me, I play everything up to different parts of history. Excuse me. And thank you. And one of the things that I always bring up with history, as I just said, the Sting over Hulk Hogan moment. The NWO losing its power back to the WCW. And I feel like that's where we're going to go. That's how we're going to do it. Macho Man couldn't do it. I forgot who. I think that was who I want to say was first. There was all kinds of Lex Luger couldn't do it. All these guys went up. None of them could do it, but Sting could, and he is supposed to be the Sting of AEW. Go ahead.
Luger did it for 6 days.
Luger did it for 6 days. So there you go. So I don't think it's now. I think it's going to happen soon. Unfortunately, OC is going to be an example, or I guess, I guess an example by Mox to see what's going to go down, which is going to lead us into the new era. When the new era ends, I don't know. But hopefully things get better. So we'll leave it at that. That's all.
I think the only thing
Go ahead.
My apologies. The only thing I do want to say, the only critique that I have is the fact that he's basing this character off the damn Romper Stomper movie with Russell Crowe that nobody's ever heard of.
No.
You don't even know what Romper Stomper is about. Oh boy. Okay. A gang of violent young neo-Nazi skinheads from Footscray, Victoria, Australia attacked 3 Vietnamese Australian teenagers in a tunnel at Footscray Station, brutally beating 2 of them. The gang is led by Hondo, a violent, reckless, and unpredictable psychopath with strong white nationalist beliefs and homicidal tendencies, with his friend and second-in-command, the quiet, reserved, but similarly violent Davy. At their local pub, Hondo and Davy meet Gabrielle, Marina Shafir, who suffers from poorly controlled epilepsy. The day after her sexually abusive, affluent father, Martin, has her junkie boyfriend arrested, Gabrielle begins a romantic relationship with Hondo, which despite a strong start quickly becomes dysfunctional as he becomes increasingly abusive towards her, and so on and so forth. But yes, this is the general consensus of what this gimmick is.
Wow. But yeah.
He quoted it. He quoted it to David. He did. He wanted it.
He sure did.
Oh, God.
And all of a sudden, it just became uncool.
It's not your company anymore.
Right, I'm with you guys. All of a sudden, randomly, just for that time second, became uncool. But it is what it is. So, very quickly, if you guys want to join into the fun and you want to do the predictions, drop them down in the comment section below. Or you can head on over to facebook.com/Max Wrestling, and there will be a post up there. You can go ahead and put up your predictions. But the road to Promo Series 9 is coming to an end, as we are a mere 7 days away from Promo Series 9 Shoot to Kill. It is not our final event of the year, but it's one of the more important ones, as we still have Christmas Clash and the Maxis, but this is one of our big 5 special events. And what is more special than tradition? It is customary that the Knowledge title is defended and a winner stays on Gauntlet. The defending champion Phoenix has quite the battle ahead of him. First, he must go up against one of his big old rivals to date, me. And if somehow, some way, we go back and forth, whoever wins that one will go on to face one of the pillars of the Knowledge division and a multiple-time Knowledge champion, Kenny Killa. Whomever survives that one will go on to chase the most dangerous adversary anyone could ever face here in Max Wrestling, the Mystery Man. That's right, the final will come down to a mystery opponent who can go all the way and who will bring home the Knowledge Championship. And speaking of gauntlets, the Golden Gauntlet had many twists and turns from debuts to special surprise exits. Beer found himself as the winner of the Gauntlet, and he is ready and more than willing to take on the moniker of Beer 2 Belts. But our current television champion Cypher has something to say about that. It's a champions clash for the TV title, and yes, it is under TV rules. Also, during the Golden Gauntlet, a new rivalry was born as I was eliminated by a newcomer, Blade Rodriguez, and I have made it my duty to put the new guy in his place. So it comes down to luck of the draw rules. Winner of the match will be determined by a time limit set on the day of the show. And as an added bonus, the winner of this match will go on to face the winner of the television title match at Christmas Clash. Will Blade go back-to-back wins against me, against an OG, or will I cut Blade down with a reality check by El Jefe? And in our main event, it is a rivalry stemming all the way from last year's promo series, Beer versus Michael Larkin. But this time, it's for the biggest prize we got and the biggest belt over Beer's shoulder, the Max Wrestling World Championship. Can Larkin make it history on his promo series anniversary? And can he call last call on Beer's title reign? Or will the Beer flow into the new year? Still world champion? Once again, it comes your way November 28th. We also predict Survivor Series War Games. Go to maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com/promo series for more information. And of course, you can listen to the theme song right now, Behind Enemy Lines, from the debut album Monster, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, anywhere you get your music. Go check out Captain's Revenge. Mike, we're 7 days away. Anything you say, anything you have to say to the world champion?
I'll say what I need to say. when we get to promo series, but I will say this. I'm not talking a beer here. I do have the Kleenex here. This is not for beer, but this is for Mama Beer, and I'll talk about that real soon.
Oh, Mama Beer. Oh, good. Okay, so time to put the points on the board. We got 2 lists, and every week we check them twice. One's good, one's not so good. Let's give some points on them. Let's start it with the bad. It's time to put the points on the Bellend board.
A Bellend, you're a Bellend, mate. Look, Bellend 1, Bellend 2, big veiny Bellend over here.
So, Bellend board time. Last week we threw Linda McMahon up on there, and God only knew that she was going to end up in the fucking government. Kind of want to give her some more points, but I don't know if I should.
Apparently, over a department that's supposed to get dismantled. So,
The Department of Education. So if you see me hitting a kid with a stone cold stunner, just know it's all thanks to Linda McMahon.
That means you're gonna have Hell in a Cell matches on recess, TLC, in the lunchroom.
Moses is gonna have to build those fucking cages.
Thank you for reminding me. I gotta build these cages for these kids to tear them up. They don't even know how to bump.
Well, that also means you can choke some.
Hey,
through the cages. So
now we're talking. Now you're talking my style. All right. So in all reality, though, let's give some points out. CM Punk with some fine words this week, gentlemen.
Jesus.
yeah.
Rob, tell me about it.
So, Mr. Punk, CM, if you will, he goes on to the show. I forget the name of the show. Mike was talking about it earlier. Pete Rosenberg. There you go. So the question was asked to him, do you have any unfinished stories in AEW? Is there anything you wanted, if you were to go back, that you would want to do? And he just says, no, I think everything, I wasted some matches on some people. What was the quote after that? I don't think everybody there knows the business, but everybody here does. Or understands the business, but everybody here does.
Yeah, that is what it is. Some people understand the business and some people don't. I think everybody here understands the business, correct?
Wow. All right. So, Rob, you want to give points?
Yeah.
You got a number in mind?
I'm gonna give him 20 for that, because
20.
You know what, man, you didn't even want to be in AEW to begin with.
No, you didn't.
It was just a stepping stone to get back to where you are now.
I mean, the fan under that was even worse, because the guy in the comment, who's a CM Punk fan, forgot the Twitter handle, but he put up because he was saying, a lot of matches that he wasted, he put up the graphic of CM Punk versus Bobby Fish. Like, it was a wasted talent that he wrestled, because he wrestled Bobby Fish.
That was actually a pretty good match, but they were actually throwing the QT match under the bus. CM Punk. So QT Marshall hops on the Twitter, like he does on occasion, and says, actually, Punk asked my boss for the match. So he basically quoted Punk saying, hey, I want somebody, to fight in my hometown that's not going to go into business for themselves. I want to fight a bad guy that's not going to go into business for themselves and try to get over with the crowd. So they gave him QT. And the match was fine.
Yeah.
It was a good match.
You
All right.
couldn't leave well enough alone. If it's not one party, it's the other. I'm fucking over it. Like, it's like that couple that broke up years ago, and they're just not over each other. Like, stop.
I'm over it too. Like, when he made the comment, I knew where he was going. As soon as Pete Rosenberg was asking about AEW, then he rephrased, and then you knew what Punk was going to say, and he said it. So, I mean, I'm not going to give him points, but I will give points. I'm going to give an extra points. This might be a rarity. Dave Scheer of PWInsider.com. And
okay.
The reason why I've listened to them from time to time as well. And Robert, this is going to also stem to Robert here because I know how much he enjoys the Wyatt Six. So the Wyatt Six, he was like, that's probably going to be one of WWE's most failed things right now. And I'm like, okay, have you seen the Miz and Karrion Kross in that promo that he cut on Monday on Raw, and how we have Bo Dallas looking us back to 2013 with the Wyatt family and him looking and acting more mannerisms towards Bray Wyatt, and they highlighted the Miztourage, and they're highlighting why they're going after these people. And even if you really want to dive deep into it with the American Made, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan are the ones who beat the Wyatt family, Randy Orton and Luke Harper, for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So you're seeing Easter eggs and little nuggets and little subtleties, intricacies, and nuances of the feud. So for that, I'm going to have to give 10 points to Dave Scherer for not understanding. You may not like it, but you also have to understand going against the Final Testament is not a demotion, because Karrion Kross and Bray Wyatt were supposed to do some think tanks before his passing. And also Karrion Kross and The Miz never thought the pairing that I needed, and Bo Dallas emphasizing it more, and you have the addition of Nikki Cross and Scarlett now. So 10 points for just being ignorant to the fact of the Wyatt Six and the progression that we're seeing now with the Final Testament feud.
Again, I love people's absolute stupidity and just talking right off the side of their neck. I'm gonna... Donald Trump's getting points all the time. He's on top of our list right now, 110. I'm going to give him another 20 points for the cabinets, for the people he's been adding. Just make himself look like a complete and total idiot. But of course, we can go on about that for days and days and days and days and days. But let's get into some fun stuff. Let's get into some good points. It's time to put some points on the Bruv Boy.
Brother.
I got one.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I am going to give 30 points to Braun Breaker
Hey!
for cutting that promo. Probably the best promo he has cut in his entire career. Where he just dog-walked Ludwig Kaiser. And I'm just digging it. Like, he's a guy who... He's finally found what works. He's found his niche. And I cannot wait to see how far he progresses.
It's top of the list, that guy. That kid's got the ceiling above him. Anybody else want to throw some points on the good board? Go for it,
I'll
Mike.
go 20 each for Sheamus, Kaiser, and Braun Breaker to add to the point, because I'm looking forward to that triple threat. That match was sweet. I will also give 20 more points to Rhea Ripley for just looking like an absolute badass with that broken orbital bone coming out and just absolutely killing it. War Games! And yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go. Oh, and I'll just give it just to the Bloodline, and 20 each for the new Bloodline. A lot of 20s going around just because of and just yeet and everything. So yes, all Bloodline, all new Bloodline, and Sheamus, Kaiser, and Braun Breaker, and of course Miss Rhea Ripley.
Hey, Rob, anybody?
And I'll also add 10 points to Joe Tess, commentator for Monday Night Raw. Working with Wade Barrett, honestly, he kind of had a rocky start, but I'm enjoying his stuff.
You know what? He actually is pretty good.
Oh, the guy that came from the NFL.
It's a lot better, yeah. A lot better than the last guy. The last guy was not good.
No, came from baseball.
Yep.
Baseball, no good.
Nope. But as far as points, you know what? I'm going to give 10 to Ricochet for his Twitter rant. Because it was a good rant. The man spoke truth. That they've been coming after him for no good goddamn reason. And the only reason he's not getting 20 is because he deleted the tweets like a bitch.
Oh, stand up on your shit, cousin.
Yeah, stand up on your business, player. Like, nothing you said was a lie.
No,
stand on it.
Stand on it.
Up until the point where you told me as a fan to go fuck myself.
Hey.
That was a bit much, but everything else you said before that, no lies told.
He was probably told to delete him.
Yeah. I will give 10 points, 10, 10, and 10 for Karrion Kross, The Miz, and Bo Dallas just for that epic promo showdown on Monday Night Raw. And I will actually give a +5 to Tony Khan.
Hey, shocker.
And do you want to know why I'm giving him a +5?
I'm waiting for you.
Because Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii has taken place next week on that Dynamite, and we don't have to see it this weekend. So, Tony, you did good. You did good.
You did good. You did good. I like it. You did good. All right, I'm going to finish it off. 30 points apiece. Mina Shirakawa, Mariah May for making the girls dance, and everybody likes it. So, with all that being said, thank you, Rob. We want to thank y'all for joining us, and we hope that we rocked you harder. Well, then again, like I said this last week, like the U.S. was rocked by the idiots Trump has been putting in the cabinet. Your educational system's getting a steel chair to the face. Sorry, that sucks to be us. Anyway, so now before we get on out of here, let's see what Mike's up. Let's see what Mike's doing before we talk to the TSK. Mike, what's the haps? We just got done doing the John Cena thing. That was fun. What else we got coming?
So Wrestling Roundtable, we're going to do more of those guys on the YouTube channel. So the Wrestling Roundtable features myself, Mr. Moses Marquez, Mr. Daniel Crimmins, Mr. Robert Davis, and our boy, the RWT Deadman, Paul Morales, talking about John Cena and his future opponents and a lot of fantasy matchups that we want to see and his highlights of his career. We have the weekly review coming either this weekend or next week. Daniel, Paul, and I will be getting back into it, and I'm looking forward to that. Daniel and I will be starting to back Uncaged real soon as our first episode. We'll be taking a look back at Leilian Muhammad Hassan as an inception in late 2004 to his rocky end in mid-2005. What could have been, what we could have done, and should he have been the world's heavyweight champion, beating Batista in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.? We'll get into that. Deep into the heart of wrestling, we're going to talk about some Full Gear. You know what we're going to do. We're going to do our predictions. We're going to get Nikola's thoughts on this and do our wacky spontaneity that we do, our sometimes reckless spontaneity, but our awesomeness in spontaneity. On the mic with Mike, I actually recorded right before this show. I had on adult content creator and adult star Lola Booty Love. I love me some BBWs, and so should you. We have a lot of great content coming up. LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships, Beauty, Strength, and Dominance on the channel. Pop Culture History Podcast. That actually came back with my dear friend and pro wrestler Laura Frazier as we watch back the Disney DCOM classic Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire on its 24th anniversary, starring Caroline Ray and Charles Shaughnessy from The Nanny. So many things really coming, guys. Stephen Mike Show's coming back. There's a lot of things in progression with some more Succession. Thank y'all for the over 1,000 subscribers. And as always, just subscribe to this fine gentleman over here and Dazzy Dangerously and the Max Wrestling Podcast. Support your content creators. Love them. Instagram, Twitter. Links will be on the YouTube channel. Just mainly hit me up, Mike Larkin92. Subscribe. I appreciate you. I love you. And I thank you.
Beautiful. Rob, what's the deal? Talk to me. What's going on with you?
So we've got a lot going on. Like Mike said, Deep into the Heart of Wrestling, we'll actually be doing a prediction show.
Hey,
it's actually probably going to be very unhinged. I know Nicola's chomping at the bit to get these things done. We kind of took a left turn, and we went deep into the heart of pop culture. We have a show about one very infamous Sean Puff Daddy Combs.
Oh God, no Diddy.
P Diddy, as you will. We went over a lot of the legal troubles he's had over the last couple of years, as well as a very infamous scene from Making the Band Part 2, where he makes the band walk 3 hours to go get cheesecake. And
let's go to Junior's. Let's go to Junior's, get ourselves some cheesecake. Come on.
Let's just walk to Manhattan in the middle of
How
the
bad
night,
do you want this? How bad
do you want this?
Not that bad.
It was something. It was something else. It was something else. So look for that on Mike's YouTube page as well. Kicking it with the TSK.
Hey.
Since we're 75% of us are here. 75% of us will tell you that we will be watching Full Gear this weekend, and we will have our very own review show. So you can watch Deep into the Heart of Wrestling for the predictions. You can watch Kicking It with the TSK for the recap. As for me, I've got some stuff working on some stuff. So you can look for Deep into the Heart of Wrestling, Linktree /BlackHeartsEBT3. Kicking It with the TSK, Linktree /KITSTSK1. You can find me if you want. We can talk some things. Linktree /Hey, it's Rob.
Hey.
That's my dog.
It's Rob. That's no dog right there. DC, what's the haps? How's it going? Where's the pundit starting?
Pundit starting tomorrow. YouTube was an issue with the upload. But I think I got it sorted. There's also some big things coming. Gonna be doing a little bit of venturing out
Attaboy.
We'll see. Got some pots on the stove, if you will.
I like it. Many
Got some cooking.
Many things from the big DC. I like it. As you can tell, all these guys are nice and busy because that's the life of content creators. So the reality of the matter is as of right now, as I said last week and the week probably before, for the foreseeable future, the TSK takeover is in full steam. I'm thinking maybe after promo series things will go back to normal, but if not, I know I'm enjoying this. I know the boys are enjoying it. This could just be your new thing that you get used to. The TSK covering Max Wrestling and then the TSK doing its pay-per-views. Speaking of that, Rob already said it. Full Gear review coming up this weekend. Next weekend, Survivor Series review. Following weekend after that, maybe we go and do some NXT. Who knows? Maybe the gabagool happens. All I know is the only way you can find out what's happening and some Max Footy Pod. Just going to say Max Footy Pod. For any of y'all want to know some more, hit me up and I'll tell you all the deets. Trust me, there's a lot coming. There's a lot coming. But again, the only way to really find out and to know what's going on is to follow all the fun socials at the evil X Machine. Yeah, I'm going to say the X Machine, even though it's Twitter. Max Wrestling UK, Captain 512, SMR Podnet, Max Football Pod. Check out the website. I've said it a bazillion times, maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com. Hit the subscribe button, follow button, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, right here on the YouTubes. And of course, make sure you're following all these gentlemen, seeing what they're doing. Of course, you can get with the TSK right here on Max Wrestling. Mike Larkin 92. You can go hit him up and see what everybody else is doing. So that is going to do it for us. We will see y'all next week in Promo Slam when we get, Promo Series, when we get ready to predict Survivor Series. And we see, does Mike Larkin walk away with a world championship? Who walks away with the television championship? Will I slice Blade Rodriguez, or is it 2 on the bounce for the newcomer? So much to happen, and the only way to go down is by joining us next week. We will see y'all then. Two sweet boys. We'll catch y'all next week at the promo series.
And we'll pay you.
Mama
Pay
Bear,
you.
it'll be all right. I'll pay you.